Hey guys, I am in Bangkok right now. I arrived this afternoon, but as you can see, it is evening, and the reason why I'm out and about is because of the Chatuchak Market. Now, if you're in Thailand and you're a plant person, you have to come to Chatuchak because this is the market to be at if you like plants and you want to buy plants. Now, the real market starts on Wednesday, but I got a tip from a friend that Tuesday evening is the night to come because this is when all of the collectors are here to see and get first dibs on the coolest plants. So I'm not going to be buying any plants, but I figured I'd come just to check it out. So I'd love to take you with me. Let's go. This is my first time in Bangkok, so I really have no idea what to expect, and I haven't done too much research about this market other than what my friends were telling me is that this is the place to go in order to see very interesting species of plants. Purveyor is selling some variegated Dieffenbachias, variegated philodendrons, some aglaonemas. That looks like a neon green Florida elbow beauty right here. Sometimes they only have one plant, they don't have multiples. So you come and you buy it, and it might be the last one of its kind. It seems like very typical in Thailand where they might just have these one-off plants and they might not make many more of them. And this looks like an Alocasia regal shield, but there's a cultivar just to the right of it that I haven't seen before. It's quite nice because it's relatively glossy and it has the dark purple black bottoms. Super cool. You can see how somebody just took that plant. So if they really like it, they're gonna move it. This Aschenanthus is really flowering. These have some really beautiful blooms. It was so cool to actually see this in the wild, and now you see it as a cultivated variety here. Some really big apicias right here that you could see. And this Hoya carnosa compacta is actually blooming, and oftentimes Hoyas, you only smell the blooms at night. So I would guess that you could actually smell the blooms here. Kind of sweet, but also kind of musty. I have a few of these at home, but they haven't bloomed for me yet. I learned that the way to make a Hoya bloom is to actually take away the water. So give it a little bit of stress, and then it will actually bloom because it's not used to having water all the time. This is interesting, some Philodendron gloriosums. This one looks like a begonia because of the flowers, but it has this like really crinkly kind of leaf. And it's also a nice hanging basket plant. So you don't always see this, for begonias. It almost reminds me of a growth structure of an apicia, the way that it kind of grows down. Really beautiful plant, nothing I've ever seen before, and he only has one of a kind here. So this guy looks like he's specializing in bromeliads, some neurigelias. I see some acmeas over here, quisnalias. Some people seem to be specializing in plants and others just have like random plants. So these are some Rhaphidophorus. This is a Cryptantha. So I have a small one of these at home. This one's a Rhaphidophora Hoya. This one I'm not familiar with. It's Rhaphidophora calatocollis, which is interesting because I hadn't seen this. This looks like a Monstera dubia. No, what is this? Oh, this is another Rhaphidophora calatocollis, but this seems to have some variegation. This looks like a Labicia. These also look like different Labicias, but you could see they're like one-offs. He doesn't have multiples of these. And this is kind of like how the plant market works here. If you see something that you really love, you kind of have to grab and take it. So I just stopped here at this one, and it looks like they're selling plant plugs, which are just small little plants that are starter plants. So you could see some pillias and some begonias and some coleus. So these are just probably little 2 to 3 inch pots that could be really good starter plants to grow. I'm gonna move out of the way here because I'm gonna get plowed over by a car. Man, I wish we had a market like this in New York. Look at the lycophytes over there. All the lycopodiums, all the hopperzias. You can never find this size in New York. These are incredibly lush. And if you look down here, this is an Asplenium, and it's the crinkle version. Really cool plant. We have some Tillandsia over here. This is Tillandsia funkiana, which has become a little bit more popular in the houseplant market. And Tillandsia xerographica. These take forever to grow. To get something this size, it's probably 25 years. That is a hell of a lot of time. I'm not quite sure what this species is, or if it's a subspecies, but I'm pretty sure that that's a xerographica and that's a funkiana. This guy seems to specialize in bulbifers and tubers. So it doesn't look like much, but these are all dormant and they will become some other amazing plant. Like here, you could see that there's Stephania vines, which have actually become a little bit more popular in the houseplant market. So these are caudexes, tubers, rhizomes that people could actually grow. Super neat to see. A lot of people would overlook these if they don't understand bulbifers or caudex plants. Look at the size of this one. There's become a new appreciation for plants like this. It's almost like grotesque looking at the bottom, but in a really beautiful way. I'm starting to see a lot of these ZZ plants that are black. This one's called black, but I've seen them called raven and black raven. This has been very popular in the European market. It's just starting to hit the US market, but you can see that it's already fairly prolific here in Thailand. I actually find this market so overwhelming, and I think people who go to plant shops could empathize with me, because when you go to a shop, your eyes are darting all over because you don't even know what to focus on. And I feel that way like times 1 million. There's just so much to take in and probably so many interesting species, but I can't take it all in at the same time. And I'm only like probably 1/10 of the way through this market. I've seen pictures of this, but never seen it in person. I think this is one of the more beautiful Sansevierias. This is Sansevieria Cleopatra. Also, I learned that Sansevierias should be genetically in the Dracaena family, but I think a lot of Sansevieria fans were up in arms about that. Always very cool to see the roots. So I'm getting spoiled at this market because a lot of these Hoyas are in bloom, and I don't always get a chance to smell these Hoyas. This one is a really interesting one. This is Hoya imbricata maxima, and I think this might be a little bit more of a Hoya that either shingles or probably provides a place for ants. I mean, look at this leaf. It's just kind of like a pocket, like a hot pocket or something of that nature, like dim sum. You just could like open up the inside of this leaf right here and you could see the roots. So this looks like it would typically shingle and maybe some ants would live in there. And it is in bloom right now and it smells divine. Oh, God, that is a good smell. I can't even describe it. Maybe a little bit of jasmine-y, but much sweeter than that. It has a very, 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 very sweet sense, like almost like fructose with a little bit of jasmine. This whole section of Hoyas are actually in bloom right now. Oh my goodness, and they all smell so differently. Really big blooms. Doesn't smell though. Oh my God. I don't know which Hoya this is, but it's got such a beautiful bloom. They look like waxy cups, and if you could just see the leaves are actually have these like silver flecks and mottling, making it extra beautiful. Doesn't smell like anything though. Really cool shop for Hoyas right here. This is such a killer market. I'm so glad I don't live in Thailand because I would not be able to afford this. I would have such a bad plant habit here. Oh my God, look at these Zamioculcas. They're coming up completely albino with one green stem. This guy obviously specializes in modeling of plants and variegation, including that variegated Monstera deliciosa right there and all these variegated anthuriums. Albino mingaralias, and then you have this really beautiful silvery aglaonema. I can't even tell you if it's a cultivar or if it's a type of species. Sometimes what you think would be cultivars are actually species. I love the coloration of that aglaonema. I've never seen anything like that in the States. Oh my God, look at this. It's just packed with plants. Quite unbelievable, but there are some massive variegated Monstera deliciosas right over here. This plant is only about $100, and this would probably sell for about $250 or maybe even $300 in the US, which seems like highway robbery. Now this is already a premium because we're in Bangkok. You could probably find this plant for a lot cheaper outside of the city. But man, I mean, some of these prices are just so good compared to what I see in the US. This cactus is massive. Look at this. Can you imagine having to put this in a truck and bringing it here? And what if it doesn't sell? This is unbelievable. These are like the large trees. So I see a lot of palms and dracaenas and strelitzias. I don't even know how they get them here. Like, look at this. How do you even get this euphorbia here? This must have been growing for hundreds of years. I wouldn't even know. It's insanity that you have to kind of move this in. And do they move it in every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Who knows? Hi. Maybe they actually move trees in trucks like that. But I think that is even bigger than that truck. You'd need like a double decker. Not to mention like a lot of manly strength to actually get that out. I'm a little bit confused as to whether like people actually sleep here with their plants or if they just leave them out in the open and people are cool and they don't take them. Because I'd imagine if somebody really wanted to plant, they would just like swipe them. That concludes my night here at the Chatuchak Market. It is just so cool to be able to see this because I didn't really do much research and I didn't know what to expect, but I have to say there are some really amazing plants here. I particularly really love the Hoyas, but I'd love to hear from you as to what you would buy if you came to this market. So tell me more in the comments below. And I will be here tomorrow, so we'll be seeing way more plants in the daylight. And again, if you want to support this channel, then plant your finger on that subscribe button, and you can always follow along on my personal journey on my blog at homesteadbrooklyn.com and on Instagram at homesteadbrooklyn. See you guys tomorrow. Interested in developing a deeper relationship with the people and plants around you? Then check out my book, How to Make a Plant Love You. Cultivate green space in your home and heart. Bring the book to select plant shops and get 15% off with the Plant Shop Pub Crawl. More information up on my blog at homesteadbrooklyn.com. And if you're looking for more tactical plant care, then you could turn to the Houseplant Masterclass, which is the first online audiovisual course on houseplant cultivation, care, maintenance, and more at houseplantmasterclass.com.